Welcome, you classy alcoholics, to Geek Salad's video chat about our favorite and least favorite about Walt Disney World. Today, we're hitting a big one. This is our favorite Epcot things, attractions, food, and just overall. And I can't talk about Epcot without fixing myself something to drink. So,
oh, boo! I didn't know that was the plan.
Oh, that was my plan. I had a long day at work. I need this.
Can I get like a timeout to go grab something? What is this nonsense?
Now we've already started.
I just had to. I had it laying around. I'm like, okay, I can splash 4 things together.
It's all right. I think all I have is chocolate beer, and I only do that with like in an ice cream float. So.
Oh, chocolate beer with ice cream. Okay.
It's magical. If you've never had a beer float, you're missing out.
I have several bottles of that are about that much more full. So.
I've seen beer floats, but then they tend to fall right back down. So,
we made Skittlebrow 2 years ago.
Oh my goodness, we're working on our Skipper's Canteen episode, so I'm coming up with a whole bunch of food puns. It's
okay. All right. So anyway, we're talking our favorite things about Epcot's. I keep wanting to call it Epcot Center. I know it's just straight up Epcot now.
You call it Epcot Center. You can do it.
Yeah. You know, all I can call it is they don't have that stupid glove and magic wand next to Spaceship Earth anymore.
Oh yeah, that was just for like their 25th anniversary.
What? How did I miss that? What was it?
You've never seen this?
No.
I'm gonna send it to you when people are talking. It is outrageously bad looking.
What was it?
I think Mike is right. I think it's supposed to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Epcot. And what it was is, Mike, are you? You know what? I'm going to look that up and talk at the same time. So what it was it was Spaceship Earth, and then there was this gigantic, I want to say cardboard, but probably not cardboard because it would just blow away.
You know what? You just talk. I'll look it up and try to send it to her.
Okay. And it was Mickey's hand with the glove and like the 3 little lines that denote the glove, and then a magic wand. I can't remember if they were like the little like cartoon magic lines.
So did they have like a special show on Spaceship Earth that like was supposed to go on with the hand?
No. This was one of those things that stayed up far too long.
Like Sorcerer Mickey's hat?
Kinda, yeah. And then people just were very happy silently that it was gone.
Like the Sorcerer's hat kind of a deal, only less...
That's what I just asked, Jonna.
All right. I found the picture. I'm going to be sending it to you guys.
All right. It is insane.
For the record, my computer's going to make a little dingy noise when you send it. So
that's my phones are going to do that too. I didn't silence it today. It's been a long day. But yeah, no. So Epcot Center is, I think, everyone's favorite,
except John's.
What's your favorite?
I think hers is what, Magic Kingdom?
No, Animal Kingdom.
Oh.
Did we talk about that when we talked about Animal Kingdom? We must have.
I said for me it was a tie, actually, pretty much between that and the Magic Kingdom.
I don't think you should ever count Magic Kingdom as being in your favorites. It stands alone.
Yeah, it's kind of it's totally different. Like the Magic Kingdom is the Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom is episode 4. It should never be put into conversation with everything else.
No.
So I just picked Mike.
Yeah, there you go. Just sent it.
Oh, okay, you just sent it. You really wanted to hit that.
Well, I had to find where I saved it.
Oh, okay.
I said like 10 minutes ago that you were about to send it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have it right here.
I remember that nonsense.
Looks dreadful, and for those of you watching, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, that is weird.
I think I remember this happening. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Disney. Sometimes I wonder about you.
But we love you anyway.
Ooh, I have an awesome announcement when we do talk about Magic Kingdom, though.
All right.
Prepared. It's awesome.
All right. Well, that's next week. So
I know. Well, no, it'll be for 2 weeks because it'll be of the best of Magic Kingdom.
Okay. So anyway, who wants to get started with their favorite attraction?
I can get started with that one easy.
All right.
Yeah, John exactly knows what I'm talking about. My favorite attraction at Epcot is Living with the Land.
Yes.
It's a great way to get off your feet for 10 minutes.
Actually, it's more like 15 minutes.
It's a ride.
But
I can't argue with that. And the ride is so improved if you when you get on the boat, just as it's starting to go into the darkness of the ride, you lean over and whisper very quietly to your seatmate, "There's no earthly way of knowing."
Oh.
And do you like about Wilder as Willy Wonka?
I mean, I just love, it's a nice peaceful ride, so it doesn't churn my stomach like some other rides I can think of. But but not only that, but I mean, actually going through all the greenhouses. Yeah. So, I mean, depending on which vegetables they have at the time, it is a different ride every single time you go through. Well, unless you go multiple times in a single day, which I have many, many times. In fact,
there is no wait.
For that
ride.
The nice thing about it, though, is there's beginning to be a wait, which means they're not going to take it away.
Yeah,
right.
There have actually been days when I've been there at the rope drop in the morning. And everyone rushes to Frozen, everyone rushes to Test Track, everyone rushes to Soarin'. I rush to Living with the Land, and I'm the only person in land, only person in the line as they open the ride. I'm like, hey, I get the entire boats to myself.
If you've never been on it at night, you have to. It's so cool. It's such a different experience. It is awesome.
Yeah,
challenge accepted.
Because the problem is you can only hit it at night. In like September, October, November time, because the ride closes at 7.
Oh right, yeah. So, well, I mean, we're there in November, so that's when.
And during the summer at 7, the sun's still in the sky.
I have to say, coming from a family that not my dad's generation, but my grandfather's generation there was extra me. I remember going through it thinking, my dad, the one who grew up on a farm, would have loved that one. And it makes me sad that he never got to see that, because he would have appreciated that so much.
Oh, he would have, yeah.
I remember, Mike, when we took Scarlett, you were like, where are you right now? I'm at Nemo. Go to the land. There's no wait here. This is good.
Yep.
And that was the year that Soarin' was closed, because they were finishing up Soarin' over the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude.
So it was like the only thing besides the show, which we've never seen in the Living with the Land Pavilion, or the building.
Yeah.
Oh, the Circle of Life one, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That one doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. They took that one out. Which.
Yeah, our last trip we were trying to see it because they were getting rid of it, and we just couldn't find the time.
Yeah, John and I saw it once. It was a thing.
Okay, so I'm not missing much.
It took up oxygen and time.
Particularly.
It was basically like Disney recycling, wasn't it? Something along the lines of that.
Essentially, yeah. The only bright spots was they actually got Matthew Broderick to voice Simba. They got Nathan Lane and
that's incredible.
And Ernie Sabella.
All right.
That was it.
But if you've ever seen the documentary on that with him as Pumbaa, he doesn't sound anything like that in real life. And one day he was just trying out the voice, and they were like, "Yep, that's Pumbaa."
Yeah. So cool. And he actually carried that on throughout his entire career. We saw him on Broadway in Man of La Mancha.
Did you?
He was Sancho.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's the voice that he sings with now.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I think we might have actually been walking behind him as he was going to the theater. Like, he had just walked out of a deli, and I'm like, I think that's Ernie Sabella. I'm not going to bother that man, though.
I would have bothered him.
You should have started with, I can see what's happening, and see if he responded in front of you.
Yeah, so if he threw his cup of soup at me, then I would understand.
No, like, how amazing would it be if you just started singing, and he just responded while he was walking in front of you, so you were singing that song, but not actually, like, acknowledging each other? Oh, that would be the greatest story ever.
No. Jonna, what's your favorite attraction?
Well, I gotta say, Soarin'. I love everything about it.
Have you been on the new one around the world?
I have. We did that last time.
She's been in both the one at Disneyland and Disney World.
Did they change both of them?
Yes, they did. They both now have Soarin' Around the World instead of the Soarin' Over California. And that does hurt, as a Californian, that does hurt my heart a little, just because I had been to pretty much all of those places and lived in quite a few of them. But the way they did the world one, it was really effective. And my personal, they have the transitions. My personal favorite is the one with the elephant just kicking up that cloud of dust.
Oh,
that scene is my favorite because the smell of the fresh cut grass is just phenomenal.
It is quite the ride. In fact, I know we're going back to something we talked about last week with Mike's garden grill incident.
Yeah.
Right now, for next year's trip, it looks like the leader for character breakfast might be Garden Grill. Solely so we can be in the building when Soarin' opens.
For breakfast?
For character breakfast.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of just your very basic run-of-the-mill breakfast. But
I understand that, but you're dealing with a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. And the characters they'll love, so that'll be fun. And Little Farmer Milk Parade, how fun is that?
The best part about Soarin' to me was that it was created using the ride carrier itself was created using erector sets.
I love that about that ride.
Yeah, it's great. It has the best backstory there.
My only quibble with the ride, and this is just more my inability to take myself out of certain things, is the curve. The curve in the screen.
Oh. Again, one of those things that on a bad day makes me really nauseous.
That one I don't mind. The one thing that can take me out of a little bit is the feet dangling down if you're in the second or third rows.
Yeah.
But if you're in the front, you're just so flying.
We always take the extra couple minutes to wait for row one. They send you down to the next one and you have to wait a little bit longer, but it's absolutely worth the wait.
Right. And to anybody whose feet who may have seen my feet, I do apologize.
Or smelled.
I don't know. I have good sneakers.
So a lot of people complained about the new Soarin' because it's all CGI.
It's not all CGI. It is not. It's not all CGI. There are a couple of pieces here and there that are CGI that they just couldn't replicate.
The polar bears are CGI. The elephants are CGI. The little surfer man CGI. The rowers are CGI.
But the background.
Well, no, the actual visual of everything is real, like the aerial views, but people were upset that they couldn't magically find polar bears.
You mean you can't make that whale jump on cue? What the hell?
Disney magic, man. Disney magic.
One thing I do love about Soarin' Around the World, though, is the fact that at Disney World, it comes in, the final scene is over Epcot. In Disneyland, the final scene is over Disneyland.
Yeah.
At Shanghai Disney, it's over Shanghai Disney.
Yeah.
I like
that.
What I like about the ride... Go ahead, Julie. I'm sorry.
My favorite part of the ride is that the introduction is done by Kronk.
Yes.
I love that when they redid it, they kept him because he's my favorite.
Well, for me, Patrick Warburton will always be the live action Tick.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Hell, I've got the entire series, all 6 episodes.
Engagement.
Yeah. But the one thing I love about Soarin' too is that was one of those rides that part of our enjoyment on that ride was saying Scarlett is going to lose her mind on this ride.
Did she?
She's going to love it. And fortunately, it's an indoor ride, which means that even the lines keep you inside.
Oh, she hasn't gone on it yet?
No, it was closed when we went.
Oh,
it was. They were finishing it up.
That's just the story he told Mike.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, we're not listening today.
That back when it was California, I got to take Mike on that for the first time.
That's awesome.
When there's one point in the old version where you were doing the paragliding through the mountains, and you went down and dipped down, and I heard him beside me going, "Oh dear God, no!"
No. My continual thing was every time the golf ball flies at you, which by the way, it was hit by Michael Eisner.
Oh, cool.
Every time the golf ball went flying, I was always ducking.
That's sort of an involuntary reaction. Everybody has to duck on that one.
So, Julie, what's your favorite attraction?
I have two. Sorry, guys.
All right.
So one is obviously Journey into the Imagination with Figment.
No.
He's basically what my entire podcast is based around. If you can't tell, Figment colors on the shirt, the little whisks like little wings.
Yeah. One little spark.
One Little Spark is the song. The podcast is One Little Spice. So obviously we love that ride. The original was a bajillion times better, but it's still Figment. So how can you not love that ride? One of the best parts of it now, though, is that it has a line. So we fast pass it, so we never wait in line. But it's accepted because people are getting more interested in it, unlike Maelstrom, where there was never, ever, ever, ever a line and they got rid of it. We're hoping that means good things about it sticking around. So we're part of the Save Figment group on Facebook, where they every once in a while, when someone's in the park and there's a really long line, they post it and everybody gets excited about it. We're a little nuts.
You haven't heard the rumor then, right?
Yeah, Inside Out.
Yep.
I know.
Well, I mean,
that's why we've created this Save Figment group, so that doesn't happen.
Figment's not going anywhere. The ride might go somewhere. Figment's not. If Orange Bird is still a thing,
he's like a staple of the Food and Wine Festival, and Flower and Garden, and they sell a lot of Figment merchandise. He
is not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, even if it went Inside Out, they're still dealing with the imagination, because that's what the pavilion is. The pavilion is the imagination. So
exactly. So I'm sure he'd still make a cameo.
Right. Figment interacting with Joy.
That would be really, oh my God. And if they get Amy Poehler to do the voice for it.
Of course they will.
But
on Goofball Island.
I wouldn't hate it.
It needs to be on Goofball Island.
Yes. That would be awesome. But
we need to start talking Inside Out. I'm going to start crying.
Figment needs to still be a prominent part of the ride. He can't be like on the back seat to Joy. No offense. Joy.
Now, see, that was one thing I never got, because he literally does not exist in the California parks. I mean, unless somebody shows up wearing a pair of Figment ears. So I didn't know what to make of him when I first got there.
You loved him, so we'll just leave it at that.
That and the Duffy Bear. I was going.
Oh yeah, so the Duffy Bear is very, very popular in the Japan, Tokyo Disney. He got a brand new friend recently too. Like he is like.
I had literally never seen him before.
But yeah, I didn't really understand the Duffy Bear either. But I'm sure I'll buy my nephew one, because why not?
What was the other ride?
Spaceship Earth.
That's actually, I'm going to jump on that too. That's mine.
And Spaceship Earth is just so when we walk into Epcot, the first minute we walk into Epcot, well, not the first minute, you understand. The first thing we do is we hug Spaceship Earth hello, because we love it so much. We ride it probably 4 or 5 times a trip. One of the 4 times I'm usually taking a nap. Sorry, Spaceship Earth, but it happens.
But your air conditioning is wonderful.
Exactly. And then, I shed a tear for the libraries of Alexandria. But it's just, listening to Dame Judi Dench is just so calming after a long, hectic day at Epcot. And it just, the whole ride is just so brilliant. The way it's done, it's incredible. It's just amazing. Again.
Well, except less calming when they had the animatronic fail last time. The gal who needed an exorcism.
The possessed Taylor Swift, yes.
Yeah. I I love that ride because, first of all, when you look at it, it's physically impossible what they're doing. You fit all of that into all of this.
Yeah.
And that is just, I mean, that is just an ingenious feat of Imagineering.
And it's not a short ride. Like, there is a lot going on. If
you paid for the ride, if you had paid for the ticket for that ride, you got your money's worth out of that ride every single time.
Oh, absolutely.
It was funny too, because when we went the first time, we're sitting there. Now, keep in mind, my wife is a huge Anglophile.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
And we're slowly doing the upward curve, and she hears the voice, and she's like, I should know who this is. Who is it? I'm like, it's Judi Dench. She just looks at me. I'm like, shame. Shame on you.
Oh, Autumn.
But now that's our thing. It's like, I can't, anytime anybody says anything now, all I can think of is thank the Phoenicians.
You know your ABCs? Thank the Phoenicians.
Thank the Phoenicians. Who made this great pizza? Thank the Phoenicians.
I love it.
My favorite part of that ride, though, is definitely the smell of the smoke as you go by Alexandria.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
except for how tragic that is, but it's so cool.
The tactile sensation, though.
We actually got stuck in front of the burning of Alexandria, and that smell after a while gets to your head. But
it's nothing but methane.
Exactly. But going by it very quickly is very nice.
Yeah.
I love the part with the in the 70s with the girl in her like patent leather high heeled high boots, because that's what I wore to work in the 70s, right?
She honestly
alive in the 70s, but
every time I see that ride, all I can think of is like in a Roger Moore Bond movie, she's the first girl.
Yep.
Yep.
I also, I love the mural in front of it.
Hours vibe.
Yeah. I love the mural in front of it because it reminds me of so many like awful, just really crappy 70s science fiction books that I used to read just because they were like sitting on a bookshelf somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just like every space dude is just like rocking his mane of hair and beard and chest hair and everything like that. And so 70s.
Yes.
But I love that ride. That is, and the beauty of that ride too, the line moves.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's constantly moving. One thing that I have to complain about the ride though is that I usually look like a demon in my picture because for some reason they cut out my eye and like 90% of my hair, so I just look like a terrible demon when they create my future. I wonder if it's foreshadowing something.
I'm going to the city. Yeah, Spaceship Earth in general, the first time we got to Epcot, I was 20 years old, and it was kind of, like I said before, it was kind of like the boring park. When we took Scarlett, I was just like, I don't know why, I was filled with a sense of awe, more than I do with like Cinderella's Castle. It's just, I see it, and I want to photograph it. I want to look at it. I take so many pictures of that damn thing every time.
I have some of the, and like on my cell phone too, I have some of the most gorgeous pictures.
Postcard worthy.
Lit up at night. It's just insanely photogenic. It's phenomenal.
Even Scarlett loved that ride, didn't she?
We went on it twice. She had to go on it again. I guarantee, because we're doing 2 days at Epcot, we're definitely going on that multiple times.
One of the neatest parts of back at when you go on Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom is that if you go at twilight, you can see Epcot, the Spaceship Earth, and the castle, and downtown Disney Springs balloon, and all of that all lit up from the top of the coaster.
Right before you start screaming.
No, that would be just you.
We also hugged Spaceship Earth goodbye when we And our last trip, we actually have a really adorable picture of us waving that the PhotoPass guys gave us. Took for us, of us waving at the not the castle, waving at Spaceship Earth. It was also super adorable.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So let's talk food. Julie.
You want to start with Julie?
Should I start us off? If you start me off, then you guys can cut me off, right?
I know it's hard. If gun to your head, favorite restaurant in Epcot Center. Gun to your head.
Restaurant Marrakesh.
Really? Okay.
I have 3, and you're making me only talk about 2, so that's the number 1.
You have a show that you can talk on this as much as you want.
No. Okay, so on my show, I'm actually talking about Akrish House, however you pronounce that.
Akrish House?
On Saturday, so I'm going to talk about my other 2 favorites instead. So,
right.
Restaurant Marrakesh. Oh my God. So the first time I went with, it was when we went on a big trip where it was me, Amy, our friend Amanda, and Amy's mom and dad. So it was like a big group, and they sat us right in front by the belly dancers. So we had this like huge booth. Our waiter was super cute and super into me. So we flirted the whole time, and his father her father to this day still jokes about it. Anytime we eat there, he's like, "Oh, did you meet any nice boys?" Hilarious. But the food, every time we've gone, has just been absolutely incredible. It's definitely authentic. You get a show, a little belly dancer comes out. It's fun. She brings like the little kids up and like teaches them how to dance, and it's super adorable. I get the royal feast, so it's kind of like a sampling of everything. And it's like, honestly, the lamb shank is like this big. It's enormous. And
pork tender.
Lamb, yeah, oh my God, it's like melt in your mouth, buttery, smooth deliciousness. And then you get like a chicken leg, and there's couscous. I think there's 2 different types of couscous. And we're actually going to be making a 7-vegetable couscous on one of the taste labs. But they have 2 different kinds of couscous, and then like this like medley of vegetables. It's just it's like so much flavor. And the royal feast comes with like a salad and a couple little like Mediterranean appetizer, like phyllo wrappy things.
Yep.
That was really descriptive. Sorry, guys. And then the salad with like this really simple like vinaigrette dressing that's just so delicious. And then you get your meal, and then you also get a dessert of like 3 different little baklavas. And so if you're on the dining plan, you have to pay a little bit extra for it. It's like $20 extra, but absolutely worth it because it's a lot of food. And I house it down in one sitting because I don't know if you've listened. I am the human garbage disposal when it comes to all things Disney food.
And they also have great bread too.
I don't think I've ever had their bread.
Oh, I could have.
I mean, I'm sure I have, but sorry. I'm sure I have, but I don't know. What?
That was the first place that, or the first dinner that I ever had at Epcot was there.
Oh.
And you gotta love too the cast member thing, because when Mike and I were coming up in one of those really nice cast member moments, he took my camera and got a really nice picture of the 2 of us in front of all the tile work arch, and it was just nice.
Yeah, one of those little fountain things that they have built into the wall.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
Overall, I gotta say, I love the architecture and design in Morocco.
Sorry. What?
Sorry. I just said overall, I just love the architecture and design in the Morocco Pavilion.
Yeah, and like the marketplace shops and everything like that are really cool to walk through before eating. It's just a really fun little pavilion. Yeah. And their drinks are actually really good too. They have a couple of different interesting options, and they use a lot of like herbs in their alcoholic drinks, and it's just really delicious.
Cool.
So my number 2, and I again in no specific order because I love them all the same, but Monsieur Paul's.
Right, upstairs from Le Chefs de France.
Le Chefs de France, yeah. So first of all, Amy and I, when we talk about it, we call it Mr. Paul's because it's so much easier to write MR instead of Monsieur.
Monsieur?
So that's our little joke. We call it Mr. Paul's. It's just
technically you're correct.
Exactly. It's just not the French version of it. It's phenomenal. We've done the tasting, like it's like 3 or 4 courses. The second time we went, we were like, we're not going to do this. And then we were like, nope, we did it anyway. So the first time we got it, she got it was like a truffle soup. So it was like black truffle soup, and they cover it with like a puff pastry, and then they bake it that way. So you like tap it open and the soup is inside. So it's like soaked up, like the steam from it is soaked up into the bread too, and then it's nice and crispy on top. So she got that soup, and then I got this salmon appetizer that was basically like these salmon rolls with the most delicious sauces to go with them, and it was stuffed with goat cheese. So that was like appetizers. Before the appetizers come out, you get a little amuse bouche, which was it was like a potato and leek soup almost, and this teeny tiny little like cheese puff. And it was just so delicious. And then we both got this lamb, and it was just like a piece of lamb about this big, and around it were little, like, they cut little spheres of turnips, and then it was served over a red quinoa. And then they, added like a tomato sauce to it, and it was absolutely to die for. And we were seated right by the window, both times actually. But we were seated right by the window. And what we usually do when we go to Epcot is we try and get the last meal of the night so that we can walk out of Epcot when it's empty. But so we were there and we got to see the fireworks. So literally right out the window. And I have some really cool pictures of like the window frame with the fireworks through it. So that's also super awesome. And then my dessert the first time is that, okay, so I would just like to start by saying the dessert itself wasn't super incredible, but I got it because it was about the presentation. And I say it wasn't that good because they used milk chocolate instead of dark chocolate, and I am all about the dark chocolate. If they had made it with dark chocolate, it would have been 1,000 times better. But it's this chocolate sphere, and they come out with warm chocolate, and they pour it over it, and the sphere melts away, and there's some ice cream inside that they, like some sorbets of a couple different flavors inside of it, and it's just so cool to watch. So I have the video of that, and that's super awesome. And then the second time we went, we couldn't resist, and we also got the 4-course meal, but I got lamb. And so it was four lamb chops, and the way he comes out with it, so I have my plate with like my vegetables and all that stuff with a place in the middle for where the meat goes. And he comes out with this butcher board of the lamb still together and cuts it in front of you, places it on the plate all beautiful like, and then drizzles the like vinaigrette or the reduction over it. It was just the coolest presentation ever. And I've heard so many people complain so much about their experiences that they've had with Monsieur Paul's, and both of our experiences were incredible, except the first time was election night, so we had to go again so we'd have a better memory of Monsieur Paul's.
Understood.
But the food was just incredible. And then the second time I got a different dessert, and they wrote happy birthday on it because I don't know whose birthday trip. Somebody got a happy birthday written on their dessert. I don't know. It was one of our birthdays. But it was just, and the waiters have their little French accents. And the bread that they give you, they have this, they have like a cheese bread, but they also have this like onion roll. And then they give you like the nice French butter. Dear Lord. Incredible. Okay,
sounds
good. That's not all I have to say about food, but I'm limiting myself and I'm done talking.
And now we're all hungry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want bread and butter now.
Oh, seriously.
Jonna.
It's so amazing.
Well, for my favorite, I have great affection for Restaurant Marrakesh, but right up there with it is the Coral Reef restaurant, where you are right up against the glass walls of the aquarium, and it's the most phenomenal view. Plus, they have seafood, which I adore. Like I said, I like to live dangerously and try seafood in amusement parks. And if I was disappointed in other places, I wasn't disappointed here.
What did you get to eat?
We got the price fix menu where you get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert all included. Being that I was trying to be health conscious and because it was a little warm, I think I got a salad for my appetizer. Not super, super memorable, but I got the shrimp and grits for my dinner. And that was a good departure for me. Not the shrimp, but because I grew up in California. What did I know about shrimps, right? But they were actually, they weren't gritty, if that makes any sense. They were creamy and cheesy, and they were so good. And then we had these big fat shrimp that went along with it, and a sweet corn succotash that was to die for. Had some andouille sausage in there. Oh, so good. And if you want a romantic spot where it's quieter, the Marrakesh is beautiful, but it's noisy because you've got the band and you've got the belly dancer and everything. This one, it's quiet, it's romantic, there's candlelight, you've got the soft glow of light coming through the aquarium. And so it's perfect for that. And then we got the best view. I mean, we were not right up against the glass, but like one table out from it. And we had a phenomenal view.
Far enough away from the fish that you can pretend like they're not judging you for eating their family.
I didn't care if they were judging me. I'm like, yeah, you wish you had this shrimp, Mr. Ray.
Does that remind you of Le Poisson, Le Poisson?
But we had sea turtles going by. We even saw the stray human because they had people who were diving in there.
That's awesome.
I captured one of those on film. You have to expand the photo out, but it's great because you can clearly see the person with their flippers.
Were they waving at you?
And then I would do that again. And then for dessert, I had key lime tart. I am a total sucker for key lime pie in any form, and this had...
Okay, but being from California, how was this key lime pie? Although key limes are from Florida, right? So it's probably better on the East Coast.
It was good. No mint green colored pie there. It was yellow the way it's supposed to be because they
that's awesome.
used the proper kind of pie. No food coloring. And so, yeah, I was totally satisfied with that.
Oh, good.
So that makes me want to purchase the snorkeling experience just so I can swim up to the window and just watch people eat.
It's feeding time in here too,
I have a feeling the divers instructors might pull people away if they do that for too long.
All right, Mike, what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, hey, if Drew's got two, then I got two as well.
I like one of your favorite ones. I might also have some things to say about it.
All right.
I know you. But I'm going to start off with the Beer Garden.
Always wanted to eat there.
Been there.
That is fun.
Yes.
Always wanted to eat there. I love sausage.
Amy's rule is that we can't go until she's gone with her boyfriend because it'll be an experience that he gets to show her since we've literally done all the rest of Disney. So we can't go until she goes with him. So I was like, come on, go to Disney with him. Come on, I want to eat there.
Yeah, you go in, but then like the eating area, it looks like a nighttime outdoor pavilion in Germany, and you've got a big stage where like every half hour or so they have a live band come out and do it in Oompa. They do
polka dancers.
Yep. And they get all the kids down to dance in the big center stage area, but it's just a whole bunch of long tables, so you are seated with other people, and I've yet to have a time where I'm seated with somebody that's like a jerk. They're always really nice. You talk to them, you get to know them as you're eating with them.
I love making friends with other Disney diners.
Yeah, it's all you can eat. You just go up and they have
all you care to eat.
No, this is all you can eat. You go up and you can pick up all you want.
I know, but Disney's motto is all you care to eat.
Right, but this is the German pavilion. You must eat.
This is This is where you go get the food, not they bring the food to you.
Really good serviceable German food. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was your other one, Mike?
My other one was, I've only been there once, but I actually went there with Julie. It was at Le Cellier.
Which is mine.
Ah, perfect.
This is how we cut time in.
So we can all talk about Le Cellier.
I can't. I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Trust me, I'm taking you next time. Well,
Oh, you'll love it. Johnny,
Provided-
you'll love
I
it.
feel like you've dropped the ball since you haven't already taken her.
well, yes, but it's also probably one of the most pricey restaurants in Epcot.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Are you saying I'm
You're
not
not
worth
wrong.
it?
No, I'm saying
Oh my
my
God.
wallet wasn't full enough.
Yeah. Honestly, Autumn walked out of there and was like, that is the best steak I've ever eaten in my life. And I'm like, I would probably rank it in my top 5.
It blows my mind that people complain about the steak because I have never had a bad steak there ever in my life. I mean, I always get the filet mignon, so you really can't get a bad cut of filet. But
Right.
when Mike and I went, I got venison chops, and that was also absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I did also have a flight of whiskey that time, so that might have been hindering. But
Oh.
Yes, you did.
and
Yeah, I had
a gentleman with a Canadian accent, and he didn't have much of a Canadian accent, sadly.
I complimented my meal with Le Fin du Monde. The beer.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which then Autumn found it for me here locally.
Really?
Oh, it's tasty. I will try to prepare some for you, Julie.
Incredibles night.
Yeah. I'm not sneaking beer in while I got the kid.
No. Just like to give to me after so I can take it home and enjoy it in my life, not to drink while we're going to the movie.
I got to find out where she bought it. I got to find out where she bought it. But, Mike, what do you like about it? Sorry, we were stepping on your choice here.
Well, it's also your choice.
It's also everybody's choice. Except for John, you cheap bastard.
That was towards Mike, not you, Jonna. We don't think you're cheap.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was implied.
She got silent. I wanted to make sure she knew that wasn't towards
exactly. Sorry, Mike. I stepped on it. What did you love about it? What did you enjoy?
I started off the meal with the poutine, which, gotta admit, not the best part of my meal.
Which poutine did we get?
I get the one with the shaved truffles on it. I don't know if you had any of it.
I think that I probably had some of it, but it's it has a red wine reduction on it and cheese curds, obviously.
That's the one I had. I wasn't blown away by it.
So it was really good the first time we got it, and then when Amy and I got it, it was really good. But we got the pass holder one because there's a special pass holder one that was French onion soup that I believe is the same French onion soup topping that they use with their Montreal poutine. So I assume the Montreal poutine is really good, but the French onion one was just cheese curds and this incredible French onion soup drizzle, where the Montreal one has brisket and some other things on it. And I want to say Gruyere instead of cheese curds. I don't remember, but that one sounds like it'll be better.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of poutine, and it was kind of a little on the salty side.
Well, yeah, cheese curd, salty, fries, salty.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think with that one, if that's the one I got, I feel that the red wine gravy was a little too much wine and not enough other flavors. And it might just be that I still feel like the best poutine is the pub food poutine.
Yeah.
Just nice big thick chips with like a good, even with there's this place in Worcester, the Fix, might have some of the best poutine I've ever eaten. The gravy is very heavy with rosemary. It's delicious.
Yes, there's a place in Disney Spring called the Daily Poutine. And
they're wonderful.
So the pictures make it look like the bowl is going to be this big. The bowl is actually this big and could feed like 4 people. But we were there in October, so they had a special Oktoberfest one.
Oh.
So it was cheese curds, and then they made this gravy with like bratwurst and some sort of magical German beer, and that one was incredible. But even the two of us couldn't even finish it. It was so much, and it was only $10 from the Daily Poutine.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of food, and we had just eaten deluxe burger, and we didn't eat the fries because we knew we were going to the Daily Poutine afterwards. But I like what I liked about Le Cellier was, now this was, we were on the dining plan, so it was the 2 credits, and they're like, you can do 2 desserts and your entree, and then you pay for your wine and your alcohol. And then they said we could substitute an appetizer for a dessert. So what happened was we ended up.
Option.
What's that?
I said they didn't give us that option.
So Autumn ordered the charcuterie plate, which was delightful. Oh yeah. And I decided before dessert was served, I'll just share yours. So they were really great. They actually substituted the charcuterie plate as our free appetizer / dessert. And we just paid, we essentially didn't have to pay extra for it.
Nice.
Which was, I thought our waitress was amazing. She's the one who gave us we mentioned this last week, the little Canadian Mickey magnet that you cannot flatten with a steamroller.
Oh my God, it's the worst. It's
and the weird thing is,
it's literally the coolest thing ever. And it sticks to like nothing because only like the tiny middle part sticks. So if you accidentally hit it at all, it's lost forever.
Yeah, yeah. So
I had the New York strip, which was cooked to perfection. But my favorite part of the meal, absolutely, was the maple creme brulee.
That was super delicious.
Creme brulee.
I do have to say, I ordered the chocolate mousse for my dessert when Amy and I went for some birthday celebration. Hers or mine. Again, I don't remember. No, I think it was her birth. No, that one must have been mine. Maybe it was hers. I don't know. But we got one dessert, and it's a mousse. And it's literally chocolate mousse shaped like a moose. It's freaking adorable. So it's got its little eyes and its little nose, and it's served on like a bread of like little chocolate crumbles. It kind of reminded me of the little chocolate crumbles that they have in between ice cream cake. And then it was just like a piped little mousse, and it had little white chocolate antlers. So adorable. So
not only was it delicious dessert, but it was a delicious pun as well.
Exactly.
Best of both worlds.
But yeah, I love me a good chocolate mousse. So like on top of it being super delicious, it was also super adorable.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap this up with our favorite things about Epcot before we bid adieu to Spaceship Earth. Let's start with Jonna. John, what's your favorite thing about Epcot?
I think in general, it's the World Pavilion. I've done a lot of international travel, and I've been to some of these countries, and the attention to detail in the pavilions really amazes me. Mike can tell you the first thing that I said when we got around to the Italian one was, they've really done an amazing job on the Doge's Palace. And I've seen the actual Doge's Palace in Italy. And so I really appreciated that attention to detail. I started reading further about like the Moroccan pavilion, where they intentionally put flaws in the tile work because nothing should be perfect. And that goes along with that religious mindset that it's shaped around there.
Yeah.
So
only Allah can make the perfection.
I think that what I like is that it gives you a taste of the world. It doesn't try necessarily to bring you totally over to that country, but to give you a bite of that country, a few bites here and there, so that it can spur you to go to those places, see those places, and expand your knowledge of the world that we live in. Because it's a big, fascinating world, and we should go out and explore it. So I really like that.
I like also with that, to your point, that they do bring in people from that country to staff the restaurants and work the shops.
Yes,
And
I appreciated that.
there's a lot of amazing people working there.
Absolutely.
Mike.
My favorite thing is probably Illuminations, Reflections of Earth.
Ooh, I
I
love
think
that one.
out of all of at least the Florida parks, that is my favorite nighttime spectacular.
Best dinner party ever. Thank you again, by the
Yes.
way.
Yeah. That is a great dinner party. But I mean, not only that,
Party.
Well, the dessert party.
Gotta love that.
with champagne.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever pricing out Happily Ever After versus Illuminations, they're the same amount of money. Illuminations gives you booze and you get to ride on Frozen Ever After afterwards.
So is it unlimited booze?
It is, yes. It is like champagne and champagne-like drinks.
Champagne drinks, yep.
Yes, lots of champagne drinks.
They had spa
lots of
waters, coffee, all kinds of stuff.
lots of desserts. Scarlett loaded up on Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, go ahead, Mike. Talk about the actual fireworks display because it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it follows like kind of a, first it's like a big fiery explosions that's kind of the creation of Earth, and then it goes more into kind of more tranquil, is showing water. They do all the water, and it does a mixture of like the both fireworks and the waterworks as it shows images on the globe, and it just slowly opens up to a flower petal inside, a lotus blossom. But I mean, not only just the imagery is just striking and very, very beautiful to behold, but the music. That is some of the best music I've heard in any of the Disney parks. I mean, I actually have just played that song just while I'm here on the computer, and I could just have it playing in the background. It's just so it's emotional, and it inspires all the things that the show does, but it's just through the music alone. It's amazing. It is easily my favorite fireworks display, and at least in the Florida parks. The World of Color gives it a run for its money. I'm not gonna lie, but the music of Illuminations is probably the best music, at least for me, in all the Disney parks combined.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Julie?
The festivals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've only done the Flower and Garden.
So, Amy and I go down for the Food and Wine every year. The only one I haven't done is Holidays Around the World. But this past January, we did Festival of the Arts. Festival of the Arts is really cool because they have, the food booths like they do at Food and Wine and Flower and Garden. But they're more artistically plated. So they're like a deconstructed sandwich or a thing like that. And there's one, it's like a deconstructed Reuben. And the bread is a sphere and the meat is served in between it. And it's just really cool. And it's a lot, like it's super Figment based. And you walk around and there's like a whole bunch of art kiosks. They had so much Star Wars stuff. I wish I had thousands of dollars because I would have purchased everything. It was incredible. I did buy one Star Wars piece from one of my favorite artists. His name is Noah. He's kind of a jerk face to adults, but he does a lot for kids, and he's super awesome in that respect. So I do still support him, even though he's mean to me. But I got a really awesome Yoda piece that he made for me that was awesome. And actually, when I was at Comic-Con San Diego is when I met him. And I have a really cute picture of Olaf and Sven, which is super cute as well. But there's just a lot of art, and when you walk around, you actually like see people who are like painting, and so you can kind of interact with them and talk to them. Flower and Gardens also obviously amazing. It's all about the food booths, guys. And then Food and Wine is just always incredible. I was really disappointed this last year. They put out the menu beforehand, and Italy finally was going to have something other than pasta. And then at the last minute, they changed it just back to the regular, like, ravioli and nonsensical normal pasta dishes that they always have, which kind of bothered me. But you said I get one snack, too. So Okay, so there's two. So there is the lamb chop that they have in Australia.
Mm.
The first time Amy and I had this, it was after a race day, and she like wasn't really hungry, but she like was a little bit hungry, so I got this lamb chop. And I go to take a bite of it, and she's like, "Can I just have a little bite?" And I was like, "I love you, Amy, but no, this is not a Food and Wine food that I'm sharing." Because most of the time I'll buy a whole bunch of them and share everything so we can try everything. But this is one. And then the next day she tried one too, and she's like, "Nope, I totally understand. This is not one that I would share either. I totally understand why." And then at one of them, I think it was like the fresh food stand, the Florida food stand. I don't know. One that's like right outside of Future World as you're going into World Showcase when you're turning towards Mexico. It's kind of like right there on the corner. They had this like beet and green bean magical like vegetable salad that didn't seem like much, but the dressing that they put on it was incredible, and obviously beets are to die for. But it was probably one of the best things we've had that we had to go back the next day and get another one. And it was a big container that they filled with this vegetable, so they're not super, expensive. So they give you a lot of it. Oh, to die for.
Oh, I had at the Mexico pavilion, at the Mexico stand, I had a sweet corn cheesecake tart.
Ooh, that sounds.
And there were actual nuggets of sweet corn in there. It was so good.
That sounds.
If I have one regret, it's that it was one of the African countries, I think Nigeria, and I was like Toucan Sam, following my nose all the way around the curve of the lake. And then I didn't wind up getting it because I knew we had reservations. But oh God, I wish I'd tried it because it smelled amazing.
What was really cool is for Food and Wine this past year, they had 35 food booths for their 35th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, 35. It's insane.
Yeah.
They have some really cool ones that are kind of like the Chew, that are like Taste from the Fire and all sorts of random stuff in World Showcase right over like in between Interventions and like the pavilions that are over there as you're walking towards the World Showcase. So you kind of like just immerse yourself into everything, and you can stop off there and then walk in, and then it's just
yeah, awesome.
It's overwhelming if you don't have a plan. I've spreadsheeted the menus and checked off which items we were definitely getting and which ones we weren't getting. I do a lot of Disney spreadsheeting.
Yeah, I just get the little booklets, and then every time
the booklets are cool. I have a story about the booklets.
Passport.
Yeah.
So they used to stamp the booklets. And Amy and I are a little OCD about that and wanted to make sure that they were stamped the right way, because once mine got stamped upside down. So we asked them if we could stamp it, and then I think because of us, they changed it to stickers. Like solely because me and Amy asked to stamp our own passports, they switched it over to stickers, and we're like, here, you can do it yourself now. Nice.
I think for myself, what I like about Epcot is that there's always something to do. And it's not your typical amusement park. It's not like you just go from one ride to another ride. Everything there is something to do. Every pavilion has their little show. We saw acrobats in China, and different bands and stuff like that. There's just always something going on, so you're never bored, and it makes the day flow really nice. There's plenty of stuff for the kids, tons of stuff for adults. It's just the most unique theme park I think I've ever been to.
Mike, I still have the Food and Wine passbook from that first time that we went, when I met Hanson.
Oh, yeah. You met Hanson 3 times that time. You went. First you met them before the show, then you saw them at the show, and then you met them after the show, didn't you?
So I saw them both nights. I went to 5 out of the 6 shows. I met people so that they were waiting in line for me, so I got to sit in the second row and the front row for the last 2 seats. And then I met Isaac and Zach and have selfies with both of them. And Mike picked me up after the show on the second night because they let me stay to watch.
Oh.
And she was beyond happy.
Yeah, I think for the rest of the trip, the inside joke was that I met Hanson.
And I had carrot cake cookies.
The kids were making fun of us a lot. Julie met Hanson and Mike's carrot cake cookies.
Awesome. So next week, okay, we're at our last Orlando park.
Oh my God,
So
is there a worst of Magic Kingdom? Is there? I don't think there is.
Oh, I'm sure we can find something to complain about.
Well, it's not worst. It's least favorite.
Least favorite, yeah.
I don't think I have a least favorite.
Oh, I do.
So
I
get
do.
ready, boring rides.
You know, I've never been on the Astro
Robertson
Orbiter.
Treehouse.
Oh, I've never been on that. I've never been in the Astro Orbiter either.
Actually, good story.
Yeah, we'll mention it next
Right.
week.
So, Julie, where can we find you?
Oh my God, everywhere. All right, so we are on Podbean, One Little Spice podcast. So it's onelittlespice.podbean.com, but you can also listen on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and maybe someday Spotify. It's also on our YouTube channel, The Taste Lab. But on the Taste Lab is where you can find our vlogs. And so far, we just have La Celliere's cheddar cheese soup up. But this month, we actually just recorded our vegetable terrine from Akir's house, however you pronounce that, in Norway. And I got to say, it came out amazing. I'm so excited to share that one with you. And it's cool because it's vegan and vegetarian, accidentally, but happily accidentally. So unlike the cheddar cheese soup, which is like all the dairy and all the meat and all the beer. It's something that, everyone can enjoy and make, and it's super easy to make. We are on Patreon, so you can support us and get our extra episode, The Magical Snack Corner, or help host a Magical Snack Corner. We have a button pack that you can get, so we have lots of really cool exclusives that you can get there for signing up and becoming a patron. So that is patreon.com/onelittlespice. We are on YouTube. Like I said, our channel is The Taste Lab. If you search us, we're there, and you can find all those videos. And we are on TeePublic as well. I think if you search One Little Spice, our logo comes up, but you can get t-shirts. We have t-shirts, mugs, baby onesies for my new nephew that's coming, stickers, laptop cases, mugs, all that good stuff. We're also on Facebook, One Little Spice. Facebook group, One Little Spice group, for all discussions about all things wonderful about Disney food. And then on Instagram, we are one_little_spice. And on Twitter, we are at One Little Spice. Do you think I could do that in one take on my podcast? Never.
No, you can't.
A million times. But here, smooth sailing.
Okay. Well, Jonna, first of all, do you have a podcast yet?
Not yet, no.
6 weeks.
Come on, Jonna.
All right. Well, fortunately, Julie, I've had over 160 attempts at doing ours. So Mike and I can be found at Geek Salad, which is also on Podbean, geeksalad.podbean.com. We are also available on Google Music. We are available on Stitcher. We are available on iTunes. We're also available if you just download the Podbean app, by the way. Our Facebook group is called Geek Salad Podcast. We are at Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. And Gmail, you can email us at geeksaladradio@gmail.com. Plus,
you can also email us at onelittlespice@gmail.com. Just saying.
There you go. And if you're watching this, obviously you're on our YouTube page, which is just Geek Salad. Don't forget to leave a comment below about what your favorite things about Epcot are. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give us a like, please. And also, hit the bell if you want to get notified every week when we get a new episode up.
Ding. I have one more thing to say about One Little Spice.
What's that?
I said I have one more little thing to say about One Little Spice.
Yep.
If you want to be featured in our fan favorite food segment, it's where we share our fan favorite food memories. You can send your food memory to onelittlespice@gmail.com and be featured on an episode.
All three of us have been.
All three of you have already been on, I know.
Sorry, I rambled on mine.
Oh no, I loved it.
I was driving, listening. I'm like, good Lord, I could have called this.
Well, Amy kept interrupting it. I was like, Amy, I need to get through this.
Restaurant Marrakesh is really good. Shut up, Amy. So next week, it's all about our least favorite Magic Kingdom things. I can't wait. I really can't wait to hear about that. Also, one thing I want people, if you're watching this, to think about what movie property do you think is underrepresented in the Magic Kingdom?
Marvel.
You have a entire week to ponder that.
So specifically, what now?
What movie property, Disney movie property, do you think is underrepresented in the Magic Kingdom?
Oh, I got mine. I got mine already.
For
Yeah,
example, the animated Robin Hood. You know,
Like, wait till next week.
but I'm just saying. For example,
Okay.
Frankly, that ought to be represented in Epcot in the English Pavilion.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
Alice
So
in Wonderland isn't over there as much as it should be. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
she's tough to find. So anyway, until next week, folks, I've been Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Julie.
Jonna.
Oh, hold on. We apparently we always wait for each other. So, Jonna, you may go first.
I'm Jonna.
And I'm Julie. Hakuna Matata.
Makuna Hadada. Wait. No,
And have a great night, everybody.